that is in high demand with medical and dental health professionals throughout Southern California. In the past 33 years, Edwin has conducted more than 7,500 CPR seminars, certifying a record 100,000 plus participants. His avant-garde teaching style, using humor, fun props, and music, has garnered him the highest honors in the CPR training industry, year after year. In addition to conducting CPR seminars, Edwin has been a speaker for TED Talk in Temecula, California. With his presentation today, The Magic of CPR, let's welcome Edwin Eddinghausen.
Please raise your hands. That's it. Just want to see if you're alive, which you are. It's a good thing since we're talking about bringing dead people back to life. Let's try again. Please raise your hands if you've ever performed CPR on someone else. I see about maybe 20 hands. Would you please stand up so that we can acknowledge your heroic efforts, please? Please raise your hands if someone else has performed CPR on you. I see 1, 2 hands in the air. Can you please stand up, the two of you, so we can acknowledge the magic of CPR? 3 of you, yes, remain standing, please. Remain standing. If the answer to this next question is yes, please sit down. If it's no, remain standing. You're gonna have to think really hard about this. You ready? Here it goes. Did it work? You're still standing. There we go. You're supposed to sit down if it worked. There we go. I was just hoping, though, one of you remained standing so I'd finally get a chance to meet the Walking Dead. Oh. Well, tonight I have a presentation for you about CPR, the magic of CPR. And right now, I need a volunteer. The first person who can run up on stage, rip your shirt off, lay down, play dead. Yes, sir, come on. No? Yeah, over there, man, yeah. Right in there in the center, you had your... It never works. That's okay, because I have the best assistant in the world. This is my co-instructor, my partner, my best friend. Would you like to meet him? Yes. Good thing he said yes, so this would be a very short program since he's half the show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. Give a warm welcome to my friend, Charlie, the CPR mannequin. You know, Charlie and I we've been working together now for 33 years. We've seen a lot of changes in CPR. When we first started, we both had a six-pack and a full head of hair. The six-pack is gone, and, well, let's just move on. In CPR, we need 3 people. We need a rescuer. I will play the rescuer. We need a victim. That would be my friend Charlie. We need a bystander that will call 911. Entering the scene, first thing that you want to do is make sure to say for number 1. Who is number 1? By the way, it's not Charlie. Number 1 would be you, the rescuer. If it is safe for number 1, we can say there is a green light. Green light means go. So we go to number 2. Number 2 is Charlie. That is a red light. Red light means stop. You guys are good at this. Stop. Yes, stop and check for a response. Simple technique called tap and shout. Hey, Charlie, you okay? Wake up. If there is no response, we need a third person to call 911. Now, I realize that 911 is not a universal emergency number. I learned earlier, my next speaker friend, Greg, is from Australia. His number is 000. 123 is Bosnia, Egypt, and Montenegro. Anybody here, their number is 777? That's Kuwait. I'm afraid to ask this next question, but I will. Anybody their number is 666? Good. Or The Walking Dead in that case. All right, once we've talked to 3 people, we move on to the action steps of CPR. The action steps are the A, B, C's of CPR. Or they had been since 1970, but it's changed. It is no longer the A, B, C of CPR. It is now the C, A, B of CPR. Circulation, airway breathing. We actually skip right over the airway breathing, go straight to circulation. And in fact, now, you don't have to even perform the breathing if you don't want. If you look at your victim and you're going, no, I am not going to put my mouth on those lips. You can skip the breathing altogether, it's totally up to you. Circulation. Where do we check for Charlie's circulation? It's a good thing you all chose the carotid artery in his neck, since he has no other pulses. Look at the poor fella, he's half the mannequin he used to be. Always check the pulse using how many thumbs? None of them. No, why not use your thumb?
Feel my own pulse.
You might feel your own pulse. You guys are smart. Fingers only, starting with fingers at the Adam's apple, slide in the groove of the neck closest to you. If you want to find the beat, get into the groove. And check the pulse about 5 to 10 seconds. Now 5 to 10 seconds goes by in a snap. Unless it's a CPR emergency, and then 5 to 10 seconds is forever. In emergencies, seconds are like minutes, minutes are like hours. But take the time, check the pulse. If there is no pulse, what is not working? His heart. Let's work on the heart. We use 2 hands, the center of the chest, compress 2 inches, and give 2 ventilations. So far, our key number is 2. But the compressions are a lot more than dose. Just showing off my bilingual skills to the international audience here. Does anybody know how many compressions we do in CPR now? 30. It used to be, for a child infant, 5 compressions, for adult 15, but now it's 30. That's a lot of work for the rescuer, 30 compressions. But it's better for the victim because we get more effective circulation and it's easier to remember. Every single CPR event now is the same. Adult, child, infant, 1 rescuer, 2 rescuers. How many compressions? 30. Ventilations? 2. Now the numbers in CPR are pretty easy to count. You can count the 2 hands, you can count the 2 breaths, even the 30 compressions you can count. But what about compression depth of 2 inches? How do you count 2 inches of compression depth? You can't. You just have to guess. And when you're performing CPR, you might find yourself going, am I going too deep or not deep enough? If you're not sure, you better play it safe. And what do you think? Go deep or back off?
Back off.
In CPR, deeper is better. Yes, much better to go deep, move that blood around, better that than to back off and not get enough circulation. And when you put it into perspective, CPR, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, that's just a fancy way for us to say heart, lungs, restart. You only perform CPR because someone's heart, lungs need restarting. I have a difficult question coming next. Do not feel bad if you don't know the answer. We have a victim laying here. No breathing, no pulse. The sophisticated medical term to describe their condition in 1 single word would be brilliant. You people must have been studying for this course all week long. Now we've established that we only do CPR in people that are not breathing, have no pulse, correct? And we've established the person with no breathing, no pulse is dead. So that would mean that we perform CPR never on the living, only on the dead, which sounds terrible. But when you understand that simple concept, doesn't it make CPR a whole lot easier? Think about that. If you're only performing CPR on people already dead, then how badly can you screw it up. You can't. They're already dead. Worst outcome, they're just going to stay dead. Nothing you do could make them double dead. In fact, if you were to check your smartphone right now, look up dictionary.com, you will not find the words deader or deadest. No such words. So when it comes to compression depth, if you're not sure about depth, always go deeper. Now that leaves one last number, the rate of compressions. CPR now is all about going fast and deep. We need to do 100 beats per minute of compressions. That's fast. But really, how do you figure out 100 beats per minute? There's a simple way. Remember that great disco song from 1977 by the Bee Gees? Staying Alive. That is a great song. It keeps you on track and it sends a lovely message to the victim's family. Now, 3 years later, there's a great song by Queen. You may have heard this one. It's called Another One Bites the Dust. You know, that's a great song, has 100 beats per minute, but you may not want to sing that out loud. It's not the best for the family. But I'll tell you, the song I found works best of all is a song I first learned as a child on the school bus on a field trip. How many of you, like me, remember on the big yellow bus on the field trip singing the song 99 bottles of beer? Well, the school I went to wouldn't let us say beer. We had to say root beer. But yes, that's the song. The great thing about that song is it has the rhythm and it's easy to remember. If you're like me and can't carry a tune, not to worry. Now, you guys are doing great. I'm going to ask for some more assistance here. I need you to sing the song with me. Here's why. Charlie, we've been working together for 33 years. Can you see what's in his ears? Look on the monitor, that might help out. Earplugs. I don't sing well, so you're going to need to help me drown out my voice. Okay, you ready to help me with this? Oh, here we go. Ready? Go. 99 bottles of beer on the wall. There's 99 bottles of beer on the wall. You take one, pass it around. 98 bottles of root beer on the wall. 98 bottles of root beer on the wall. There's 98 bottles of root beer on the wall. You take one down, you pass it around. 97 bottles of root beer on the wall. Oh, hold on. What did we just forget to do? Count. Was anyone keeping track? We're supposed to do how many compressions? 30. Well, the good news is, Charlie and I figured this out. Do you know what it takes to get through 30 compressions? It takes exactly 2 bottles of root beer on the wall, which we just did. So after you perform 30 compressions, we go to breathing. Simple head tilt, chin lift maneuver, because you all know that unconscious victims will automatically swallow their tongue, right? You're not going to swallow that one, are you? They don't swallow it, but the tongue blocks the airway because of gravity. In 2 words, can anyone tell me what does gravity do? 2 words? Pulls down. That's a nice way to put it. I'm just going to be blunt with you. It sucks. That's gravity. And give the 2 breaths. Be sure when you give the 2 breaths, you pinch their nose. Why is that important? You want the air going in the lungs. Plus, if you don't pinch their nose, it's not good. I know, that's disgusting. 2 breaths, here we go. 1 breath, 2 breaths. Were the breaths successful? Yes. How do you know? You saw the body levitate. That is the magic of CPR. Once you've done 30 compressions, 2 ventilations, that makes 1 cycle of CPR. We need to continue performing CPR for 2 minutes. And then we check the pulse. It takes 5 cycles to make 2 minutes. How many cycles have we performed so far? Remember, my time here is very limited. We'll try that again. 5 cycles make 2 minutes. How many cycles have we performed so far? You guys catch on so quickly. Yes, 5 cycles, and we're checking the pulse. Now, if there is no pulse, what's not working? So we go back and do it again for another 2 minutes. 5 cycles. 2 more bottles of root beer on the wall. If there is a pulse, is this a good thing? Yes. This is great, because the pulse tells us what is working once again. The heart. Help me with that little rule. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That applies to CPR. Heart's working just fine, leave it alone. But we still need to go back and reassess what? The breathing. So check on the breathing, and no, he's not breathing. If he has a pulse and is not breathing, we give 1 full breath every 5 seconds. Again, pulse, no breathing, 1 full breath every 5 seconds. As we're doing this, if at some point the breathing is back, we now have pulse, we now have breathing, what is there left to fix?
Nothing.
What's left to fix? Nothing, you're right, we've done it! We saved Charlie! You did it, yes! And you know, that now makes Charlie part of 2 very special groups. He's now part of the Grateful Dead, as well as the Walking Dead. You knew where I was going with that one. Now tell me, does CPR work every time?
No.
No, why not? Because we do it on dead people. That's the worst thing about CPR. But take heart, because of the very last, I've saved the very best. Every year in the good old US of A, CPR does save over 150,000 dead people. And you know why? Simply because someone just like you jumps in, starts CPR, and buys them precious time. Now, do we perform perfect CPR like the professional rescuers out there? We'll probably make some mistakes, but whatever we can do for them right here, right now, it's got to be better than nothing. Reality check. If you ever do perform real CPR, it will likely be one of the scariest events in your lifetime. You might even forget some things I just shared with you here tonight, but that's okay. CPR doesn't come so much from up here. You know where the real CPR comes from? Right here and here. Trust your gut instincts, put your heart and soul into it, and hang in there. Because in the book of Ed, the only bad CPR for a dead person would be no CPR. All right, final question, and my time with you is done. Tell me right now, if someone hit the floor in full arrest, could you get in there with your heart and soul, with all your passion? Could you at least try to give them a second chance for life with the magic of CPR? If you can at least try, let me see those hands I said high. Give yourselves a big round of applause.